Hello, and welcome to PlayStation Unchained E3 Review Part 2. And much like the best cliffhangers, we left you hanging on after a very tense and suspenseful end to the last podcast in which we had to do EA and Microsoft. But it's okay. This time there are four whole shows to review. I say four whole shows. There's four whole shows in the sense that if you put the Square-Enix and Nintendo ones together, it makes three-quarters of a show at least. And then Ubisoft, well, they did everything we expected, so that makes up the rest of it, I suppose. But we're still going to talk about them. Mainly, I will assume we will be talking about Sony because that is our bread and butter. And there were lots of opinions on the Sony one coming out of our lovely chats at the end of the conference last week, by the time you listened to it. I am, as ever, your host, Neil Bolt, and I'm joined by Ben Shillabeer-Hall.
I am here, and I can't wait to talk about video games.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear. Because it's not Gardener's World, I promise you.
Oh, damn it.
That's the second half. Also joining me is Garri Bagdasarov.
Hello.
Hello. Happier, I'm sure, further away when the sting of no Rocksteady game has died down just that so much.
It's never going to die down.
It was a double no show though, because there was no Marvel game and no DC game.
No Avengers game. What's up with that?
And also rounding out our little motley crew for today is Chris DeVisser, who is probably really excited about having Star Fox in that new game that Ubisoft are making.
I am here, and indeed I am. And you also neglected to mention also no new Metroid Prime, as we were hoping for, was another one that many, I'm sure, were very disappointed was not present at Nintendo's show. But yes, very true. I am excited for the new Smash Brothers, and I'm not normally a Smash Brothers fan, so we'll see how it goes. I know that's very risky to admit, but yeah, I've never really been a Smash Brothers fan. This new one's getting me a little excited again, so we'll see.
Yeah, that big old roster, helps. I think
it does,
especially for me, coming into Nintendo after so long, having nice, comfortable favorites like Sonic and Snake in the minus his butt, but it's still at least Snake.
The travesty. Snake's booty isn't as luscious as it once was. What are you doing, Nintendo?
I spent hundreds of hours.
It's not David Hayter anymore. That's why. It's Kiefer Sutherland's ass.
So you're saying David Hayter's got the nicer booty? Sorry, Kiefer.
Is his voice, though? He's back. So that's good. He's still doing the role long after. Hopefully that means he'll do it in some sort of remake capacity somewhere down the line. That'd be nice.
It's okay. Snorlax is way more attractive booty anyway.
More cushion
it's
for
no
the
Ridley.
cushion.
That's something I'd expect Chris to say.
Yes.
No. See, with me, you get Bootylicious Snake and Foxylicious Wolf. With Garri, you get Snorlax's ass. So there is a different line of taste. I'm not saying one is worse than the other. I'm just saying different line of tastes. If
Snorlax was a starter Pokemon, everybody would pick him.
I would pick Snorlax as my starter Pokemon.
Yeah.
I know it's Nintendo based and we've got it early, but that's one of the reasons why I can't wait for Pokemon Go Pikachu. It's because you can have another Pokemon follow you from behind. I just want to see what happens if you have a Snorlax.
You'll just wait on the road. You have to go and pick him up.
Do you sit on him and he rolls?
There you go.
Yeah, before we get there, because we will mention Nintendo in passing, there isn't a lot to mention, has to be said, but Same with, as we said, same with a certain other company. But we ended, of course, last time on Microsoft having dealt with the awfulness that was EA's press conference. It's debatable whether it's the worst when you count everything. As every year. But this one kicks off with the only conference I didn't see of the entire thing because I was asleep in bed, tucked up nicely. And that was Bethesda's, which is a shame because that's the one I like to. I would have sacrificed most of the conferences to have seen that one instead. To be honest, it would certainly have been a better use of my time. That's for sure. But you guys were up. You were covering it. So.
You were around.
Mm-hmm.
Around. You are in the know, as they say. Obviously, again, leaks and things meant that games got announced a little earlier, and Bethesda had this thing. Oh, we'll tell you what's coming, and then we'll show you when it gets here. That happened a few times, and so right off the bat, we got Rage 2, which we knew, which was. Started off with a performance by Andrew WK, which the crowd was not into at all. It was,
what are you talking about? I was dancing up and down in my chair. Everybody loved Andrew WK.
Oh, yeah, but for some reason the E3 crowd were like...
I don't know who he is, but I will clap anyway.
He's very good. He hasn't changed it one iota in 15 years, which is just strange. So, yeah, Rage 2 was looking good, and we had Elder Scrolls Online had its things mentioned. Legends is coming to PS4, which is the card game. Doom, of course, is coming back as Doom Eternal. Praise DLC, which I played, finished, reviewed in this last week since it came out. It was announced. Wolfenstein got a couple of announcements, a co-op sequel of sorts and a VR game. There's also a VR Prey game coming as well. Fallout 76 showed a bit more off, including the online co-op side of it, which just made many people go, I wanted a proper Fallout, like anyone thought we were getting a Fallout to begin with. Starfield was announced. We don't know what the fuck it is, but it's happening. And then Elder Scrolls 6 also got announced right at the end there. And again, not happening for a very long time. So, I'll start off with you, Garri.
Yes.
What was your main feelings coming out of the Bethesda conference?
I thought of all the press conferences, I think Bethesda gave everybody what they wanted. Every game that they had was for one fan or another. Whether you're a fan of Elder Scrolls, you got a new Elder Scrolls announcement. If it's Doom, you got a new Doom announcement. Fallout, you got a Fallout announcement. Everything they announced catered to someone who loves their games or a type of their game. So to me, there were obviously a lot of standouts for me. I love the first Rage. I know a lot of people had mixed feelings about it. I enjoyed it. And I'm really excited for Rage 2. It's obviously a lot more arcadey, a lot more different than the first game from what it seems. I'm excited that they are focusing all on single player. There's no multiplayer for it, at least right now. I know they said something that they might add multiplayer after launch, but we'll see. I was into it. I mean, it had this Mad Max mixed with Borderlands feel to it.
Yeah, but a little less like on the nose, I think it's goofy, it's silly and violent, but in the right way, I think.
Yeah, I kind of took more of a Bulletstorm from it rather than a Borderlands.
Very much so.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. Open. It is fully open world now, which is something they obviously couldn't do last gen because of console limitations. But Rage 2 definitely in on that one. Doom Eternal looks like we're going to Earth from what I gathered from the trailer, so I'm super stoked for that. can't wait to see more of it. I'm surprised they really didn't talk about it more other than the announcement or to give any details for it. But yeah, as far as all the other ones, I do want to get into Elder Scrolls Legends just because I love those kind of deck building games.
Yeah, I got a free few promotional card sets when I went to preview Elder Scrolls Online, so I might actually get to use them now, which would be great.
Oh, nice. We'll see how they transition that to consoles. But yeah, like I said, everybody really got what they wanted from this press conference. I am excited for this Starfield, was it? Yeah.
Yes.
I am excited about what that, because I'm a huge space guy. I love anything set in space, sci-fi style. And with Bethesda's ridiculous scopes and what they're capable of doing, I am curious whether it's, if you fly around in your ship, travel from planet to planet, or if it's just going to be set on a planet or just specifically set in space. Is it going to be like a Mass Effect style? What it's going to be, we don't know. We know it's not coming this gen because they announced it for the next generation.
Whole new engine and everything. So it's going to be the works. They are at least this. We said this in the predictions for this, and I think in last year as well, that when they do get around to stuff like Elder Scrolls 6, and the reason they're so far away is probably because they're working on them in a new engine, and lo and behold, the first two games of the new engine are these two. So yeah, it is.
Yeah, and they announced Elder Scrolls 6, which is probably not going to come out for another 5, maybe 6 years.
Yeah, I was glad of this. With both, they were like, yeah, look, straight out the bat, we're telling you these aren't coming out for a while, but we thought you should know we are at least making them. So.
Yeah, but at least they had a logo, unlike a certain Star Wars game that didn't get one.
It has Jedi's and it exists. Maybe.
That still stings.
But yeah,
yes.
I'm glad they are embracing more VR stuff. I think that's pretty cool. Prey in VR sounds like it might be cool.
It sounds like the Thing in VR, which is like, I'm digging the idea of that. It's actually great. But we'll see how.
And Wolfenstein, I have no idea what that is. Outside of a logo, we don't know what the hell that is. I was really surprised they didn't announce Fallout 4 for PSVR.
I think just because it's a bit more tech heavy than Skyrim.
They can barely get Fallout 4 running at 60 frames normally, let alone with VR.
But it's already in VR, just not on a.
Yeah, but you need 60 frames per second as a sort of cap, and it drops a lot on PS4. So.
Yeah, I think just the more I reckon down the line it will happen, and they can milk it then, because like I said, 76 isn't a Fallout game in the traditional sense, and we're not going to get a Fallout game for a long time after that. So,
look, they released Skyrim on Amazon Echo, so
did that actually get released?
Yeah, that's that real thing. That actually released.
Oh my god, that sounded amazing! I wish I had Amazon Echo now. It was like a text-based RPG if it was like the trailer.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is.
Oh my god, yes! Pick up sword. I was
slightly out by saying that it would come onto the Vita this year instead. But yeah, it's
Northeast. Open door, northeast.
But yeah, overall, I did enjoy what Bethesda brought.
Fantastic. Chris, what about you?
I agree. Starfield is going to be Gary's new favorite Mass Effect 2. I think that...
I was waiting for that.
I agree with Gary. It definitely catered to a lot of people. Myself, I am a Fallout 76 and Doom guy mostly, so I'm definitely excited for the new Doom and Fallout 76. I think as far as multiplayer goes, they're handling it really well. I'm excited. This is like what I've always, and my biggest problem, I don't know, Ben will agree with me. games like Skyrim and Fallout 3 and 4 and Oblivion. Well, obviously with Oblivion they couldn't do it, but those games have always felt more like they should be a living, thriving MMO.
Yes.
Yeah.
You always felt kind of just, you know, you had the NPCs and everything, but for something like that, it would have been nice to have been able to have even some kind of multiplayer. And now they're basically doing this. They're doing this. What people who've always felt kind of lonely wandering the wastes can now hang out with their buddies and wander the wastes together and fight Deathclaws together. And it's shit. I'm on board. I 100% hope this is everything that they're promising. So I have high expectations for it myself.
Are you upset though that they pretty much have to get rid of the VAT system now and it's essentially just a shooter?
No, because it has VATs.
How does VATs work in multiplayer?
Basically, it doesn't slow down time, but you can target people.
It's in a very crude.
I don't know about that.
It's kind of like what Fallout Shelter does, a very basic version of that, and you can do that here in 3D basically. So it's kind of that.
Yeah,
but it's fine. But yeah, that is obviously a downside of it. My feeling on it was that, you know, if I want a post-apocalyptic single-player game from Bethesda, well, looky here, Age 2 is there. So,
yep.
Why? And you know, I still haven't finished everything in Fallout 4, so it's if I really.
That's because you can't finish everything.
I can. I've got about 140 hours further than I ever got with Fallout 3. So
yeah, I'm with you there, Neil. I still haven't finished the main game, the main story in Fallout 4.
I finished that. It's just like I did the DLC. So the last DLC pack I didn't really finish, and there's other stuff I wanted to do in the main wasteland, and it's just one of my favorite places to go exploring. It really is. It's like, and that's why, like, I'm slightly disappointed there isn't a Fallout 4 VR on PS4, because I'd like to have seen it just for the exploring, even if it was just for exploring. It would be nice. But yeah, I can imagine it's not easy, and I think you might end up being sick doing the creation system in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Anything else, Chris?
No, pretty much that's all I can think to take away from it. Yeah, I really enjoyed the Bethesda show this year. They've kind of been clawing their way back into people's hearts a lot after a lot of the stuff that people were mad at them about a couple of years ago. So it's nice to see them put on a good show and like actually make some stuff for the fans. Like they've listened to what we've wanted and done something good with it, as opposed to how that might normally go for other developers. So yeah, I'm excited to see these ones.
Yeah, and I think obviously there were complaints about Fallout, as we said, where people were moaning because it's now an online game, and it's like, well, it's not a sequel, properly, because it's 3 years since the last one came out, and these games don't tend to come out so quick, one after the other.
Nope.
So, and hey, you don't have to play it online. You can just go on your own.
But people, again, the hysterical side of Reset Era, obviously the most logical people in the world, were pretty much going, oh, but the world would be empty because there's no NPCs. And it's like, what the fuck do you think you're fighting all the time? It's like, do you think it's like, it's a co-op shooter and we're not going to have any enemies? It's like, I think most of the fun in Fallout 4 was not the people. It was more like the going around and discovering shit and finding what monsters.
And plus, it said we're not going to see human NPCs. What if we join up with a squad of super mutants?
A Deathclaw NPC. Hey, what's up, guys?
Like I said, players will take the role of NPCs essentially.
Yeah.
So,
we can have a group of raiders that are super mutants, some robots.
And story-wise, it makes sense. They're the first group outside. This vault is the first one open. And they've covered themselves in that sense. But it's clearly the thing they want to make them money over the next few years, which will then in turn hopefully help fund the single player stuff because as good as it is that they keep doing it, clearly a lot of them don't make the money they should, and because of the way it is, and that's
they've run out of versions of Skyrim to release.
Yeah, so Fallout 4 will be next, where they'll just put it on everything. So it's.
I would have liked Skyrim on my fridge.
It'll happen one day. If Doom can be on a pocket
Sky fridge.
Sky fridge. It's the right temperature for it. That's for sure. What about you then, Ben? How did you feel on the old Bethesda?
I enjoyed the rage until I found out it wasn't co-op. And I was disappointed and I lost interest. Doom Eternal looks good. Just because Doom is awesome. And I giggled that they admitted that they haven't made a new IP in 25 years when it comes to Starfield. So...
Well, yeah, Bethesda game studios haven't. That's the fairness. Officially, yes, they have, but it's if you're going just worldwide Bethesda, but yes, it's in their case of that studio that makes Skyrim and Fallout. Yes, it's the first one they've made in a long time. 25
years.
I mean, because though Fallout technically new when they got it with Fallout 3 because it wasn't theirs before, it still wasn't a new. Personally speaking, I'm very excited for H2. For very much like Garri said, there's a bulletstormness to it that is instantly appealing. And if it's proper open world, and I think Avalanche have had good practice with the Just Cause games and the Mad Max game, it could be really good. Plus, like I said, with its help with the gun stuff, which is always the weakest stuff in Just Cause, and I have to say, then maybe it'll be very cool. I wonder about how interesting the open world will be. Because though Avalanche are very good at making big open worlds, they don't tend to have a lot going on in them. So I'm hoping the shooting will be the main draw here in that regard. Busy Avalanche, doing lots of things, it seems. I also like Chris.
They're working on three games, 3 or 4. I don't remember now. Three games. That studio is well spread out.
Well, it's like Don't Nod was like they're doing like everything under the sun. So how are they managing it being such a small studio? Like Chris, I am very much into the idea of Fallout 76. It's different. That's fine. I've done the Explore the Wasteland thing. This will still have it to a degree. But I like this sort of almost GTA Online level of griefing that could be done on there. Could be quite interesting to see how nuke heavy.
I don't know. I think it won't be an issue.
Oh no! I mean, like good griefing. This isn't like the proper shit.
Yeah, because housing gets saved, and when you log off, everything gets taken off with you anyway.
Yeah, that's it. But no, it's more like when you're playing, just like fighting to find that nuclear code and just basically burn someone's entire commune into the dust. It'd be nice.
And they can steal all their resources.
Yeah, I mean, it's an apt metaphor for online life, really. It's like, if I can't have it, I'll nuke everything you've got into oblivion.
I didn't know it was a Microsoft game.
Too soon, Ben. Too soon.
A big surprise for me was that there was another Wolfenstein, to be honest, in Youngblood. I'm cool with it, to be honest. A co-op one as well. In 80s Paris with BJ's daughters. I mean, unfortunately, that does give away the slight spoiler that whatever happened at the end of Wolfenstein 2 didn't really matter because they're still fighting the war. 10, 20 years on. So, but yeah, it's
it's in a different country, isn't it?
Yeah, but the Nazis are not gone. If my point, it doesn't.
I mean, come on, they can't get rid of the Nazis because if they get rid of all the Nazis, then there'll be no more Wolfenstein.
Well, they could fight wolves.
What about Nazi wolves?
Nazi wolves? Why not?
Zombie Nazi wolves.
So, I know we didn't do this last time with Microsoft because it seemed unfair, and EA because why the hell would we give it a grade? But Bethesda conference, give it a grading system. The A to E, if you will. Ben.
B. Plus.
B? A B for Bethesda.
Yeah.
Okay. Garri?
I would agree. A B.
A B. Chris?
B plus.
B plus. And yeah, you know what? B plus. I think that's a pretty fair. If I can find, sorry, I'm trying to find the plus button. There we go. Right. So briefly onto Square-Enix. Let's see if we can spend more time talking about it than actually, conference that there was. There were games there. I mean, that's for sure. It was a very strange little conference, but they were kind of going the Nintendo Direct route of just like, here's some games, let's have some narration, which Keith David, that was great, loved that. Though it did seem like I was listening to the Monday Night Wars every time he was speaking. Unfortunately, major negative point for me straight away was that no Avengers game. Even when and then they go and put a game in that looked like it could have been the Avengers game, and it turns out it's superhero death guy, and he's the one having his fun. Shadow of the Tomb Raider was there, more stuff for that gameplay, which I hate to say we'll come into it later, but it's a good thing that went on before The Last of Us Part 2. I'll say that much. The Shadow was definitely over Lara in this case. Monster Hunter World, Final Fantasy 14 online crossover was revealed, which was cool.
Yes!
Yes, see, Ben, relevant interests.
And it'll be next month.
We saw, talking of relevant interests, Dragon Quest 11 had a bit more of that. Including a lovely limited edition, which does look very nice. Babylon's Fall, a new Platinum Games IP.
Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about the Fallout Collector's Edition.
I didn't even see it until just now, and I was like, oh, okay, there's some stuff.
I'm really tempted.
Oh, that one, yeah, that one is good.
Yeah, with the helmet that works and has a voice modulator and a light. You can wear it like a helmet. All I know is...
That is what it is, man.
Yeah, but it's not like a lot of like the Killzone helmet where you couldn't really wear it because it's just like a model. It's an actual wearable piece of kit.
What if I have a really big head and it doesn't fit?
Like my head probably won't fit.
Then you don't need it. Problem solved.
Ben's head is massive.
Anyway, back on track. Just Cause 4, that's official after, we knew it's official because it got leaked in every which way but loose. Looks like weather's the new thing in this one. Basically, tornadoes and nonsense. It's still going to be a Just Cause game, and that's pretty much to its detriment. It might be good this time. You never know. But they still got the same voice actor, so... The Quiet Man, as we said, the death superhero type game that's apparently real-time stuff and greenplay graphics and a very short game. So it sounds very experimental, like a studio is doing this in preparation for something else. But it's not the Bouncer 2, as many did think, but it's an interesting. We don't know much more about what it is. And yes, as we said, that was really it. It was all done in under half an hour, and we were just sat there thinking, what? I mean, the best thing that came out of it is that we managed to get like a tweet go on fire on the PSU account just after that, which was great. So, small victories. So, Chris, I'll start with you for this one. How did you find the Square-Enix conference, if you can call it that?
It was all right. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm excited for Dragon Quest, Tomb Raider, and Hitman 2. So it wasn't like bad for me. I think we're getting more stuff that we want again. But it was just short. Like, here, this is kind of what we're working on. All right, here, buffet's open. Like, okay, whatever. All right. I don't know. It's just kind of cool.
Yeah.
Next.
Just there wasn't much to say. This is it. Cool. Any particular highlight other than Dragon Quest? Or?
Actually, the bigger highlight for me is probably Just Cause 4. I like the games, so hopefully we'll get a Sharknado in it, and then the series can finally die a fan-ridden death.
God damn it!
The films are ending, so yeah, what better way to carry on the legacy?
Yeah, that's it. That's all I'd say. It was there. It's done. Let's move on.
I mean, that's not a bad shout. Ben.
For me, it's got to be the Final Fantasy 14 reveal, and the only thing that really made me excited for most of all the conferences was that Captain something.
The Captain something saying, "Oh, the Ultimate Adventure of Captain Spirit."
That's it, Captain Spirit.
Yeah, which we didn't cover here because Microsoft had already had it. It's like when you knew you were going to have a half-hour conference, why do you then go and give some of your stuff away to another company? It's just like,
but yeah, that looked good.
Yeah, just thinking about that, they gave about 20 minutes of their conference to stuff that had already been on other conferences.
It's free, isn't it, as well, which I'm shocked about.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a buffer between season 1 and season 2 of Life is Strange. So
I didn't expect the whole thing to be free, though.
No, which is cool. Like I said,
I thought it was like everything's like, here's the first one for free, and then buy the rest of it. Get the first one for free, boy.
Well, so everyone expected Life is Strange 2 out the gate, so this is clearly their sort of stopgap because, as we said, Don't Nod are very, very busy. They have Vampire, they've got this other game, Twin Mirror, and so it's good times for them. Garri, what about you?
Baffling to me. It's like they didn't have the games that people already know are in development, and they showed off more games that we didn't know were in development. There's so much stuff missing, and in a way, I understand why, say, Final Fantasy VII wasn't there, because they don't want to, I guess, distract people from Kingdom Hearts 3, which had 3 goddamn trailers at E3. Different trailers, I might add. If I see another Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer, I swear to God.
Yeah, it's why it wasn't worth mentioning here, because we'd already mentioned it on the last podcast, because that was the first time it showed up.
Yeah, but I mean, some kind of update would have been nice. But we got nothing. I mean, where was Left Alive? That awesome From Mission successor that they announced. That wasn't here either. Obviously, the Avengers game. We knew that the Avengers game was a long ways off. They even said that. But something would have been nice.
I mean, now the more I think about it, I think, well, maybe they're not telling us now because there's so much to sort out in the movie universe that it might have been a bit spoilerific to have announced it earlier than that. Well,
maybe. I mean, if it takes place after the next Avengers movie, maybe.
I would suggest it will, yeah. I think they even said that it would be different in terms of the roster. So, Disney will have a control on it, and I would say they would want certain characters to be in it. So, it's which would be good because it would be better than a game that is just the basic bunch that we're used to, I think.
Mm-hmm. I mean, also, what's it called was missing too. Final Fantasy 15 DLC. They announced all this DLC that's going to be coming out this year, and nothing.
Yes, but then I think very much a case of them saying they're going to do it and hadn't actually done it yet. Rather than they're like, shit. We're like, shit, this has made a lot of money. We'll do some more. Like, we were totally already doing more. We were that confident.
I mean, but it was nice to see.
Let's go cancel. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice to see some more Tomb Raider actual gameplay this time. That was cool. I like what they have planned for Babylon. Is that Babylon? What is it called? Babylon something?
Babylon's Fall.
Babylon's Fall. Looks like a 4-player co-op platinum game. I mean, I hope it's better than Ninja Turtles, but we'll see.
I hope it's better than Anarchy Reigns, to be honest.
Yeah, there's that. I mean,
I hope it's as good as the Bouncer.
The characters look cool, so we'll see about that. And obviously the superhero Def one, I'm really intrigued by that one. But
yeah, so I think that I hope people have caught on to the fact that it will be a short game, because
I highly doubt they have.
Because you know what happens. I was expecting more. I very much think that's an experimental game. That's sort of helping set tech for the Avengers game.
But yeah, outside of that Dragon Quest 11 Collector's Edition, day one, man, day one. That's hot.
Yeah, well, it's good. But again, certainly we kind of already knew most of Dragon Quest stuff, and apart from the Collector's Edition.
But yeah, like I said, they showed stuff that was just a little baffling to me. And they left stuff out that they probably should have had in there.
I mean, they almost didn't need to announce they were having a conference. I think that was the main thing. They could have just said, we'll just do like a highlight reel of things we're announcing. If they'd said that out loud, people wouldn't.
At this point, I think it's because like Microsoft and Sony didn't really have space or room to show off their games at their conference. So they had to announce these things some way, so they had their own.
So Sony had so little room that they just threw a From Software VR game in after everything finished.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I'll tell you that the only other thing for me was Octopath Traveler for the Switch, which I've been eagerly anticipating for a while now.
Demo. Have you played the demo?
I have been playing the demo, yes.
You enjoy it?
It's a 3-hour demo. It just turns off after 3 hours.
Okay. I have nothing really to add to that. I think grading, I will give it a D+, just because there were some interesting games there. It's just the format of it was a bit. Ben.
A-.
A-? You don't understand. Final Fantasy 14, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Ben is done. Chris.
D.
D. You like the D. Garri.
C-.
C-. So not terrible, just baffling. I think is the overall feeling. Okay, so we were on to the Ubisoft conference. Sorry to Devolver and PC Gamer. It's just not a lot of relevant interests, but
hey,
bravo to
let me just say, Devolver put on a hell of a show, and that was my favorite one. I'm sorry, they did. They put on the best show. Devolver, kudos to you guys. You fucking nailed it. Sipping with satire, yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. It has to be said. Dear. So on to Ubisoft, which was very much. I mean, I wasn't expecting loads. I mean, our dear old JP was feverishly hoping for a Splinter Cell announcement that never came. Instead, came on stage at the end, did We Are the World, basically. And that was it, which was a shame. But that's not to say there wasn't anything coming out of it. Skull and Bones came back, still looked quite interesting. Beta is now available for sign up. You knew that already. You'd kind of advertised it on your website for 2 weeks. By the way, Ubisoft. I don't know why you thought people would think it was a surprise. Maybe because you didn't bother announcing it. So yes, there was that, which as I said, is something I'm still looking forward to. Assassin's Creed Odyssey was proved to be real, shock horror. But with 2 playable characters and romancing options, guess what, Garri? It's the best new Mass Effect 2. Guaranteed.
Son of a bitch.
Mass Effect 2 in ancient Greece. Get in. Transference turned up again. The Elijah Wood virtual reality game, which should, I'm still
Which I was confused and thought he was in Spider-Man.
God. Which must have got even more confusing when Joseph Gordon-Levitt came on stage, and you're like, "Oh my God, which one of you was from Third Rock and the Sun?" From the Sun. Yes. So Starlink was also shown again, which is that basically you put a spaceship on your controller. Its big gimmick basically was Nintendo will get Star Fox stuff, which will make it the best Star Fox game in a good 20, 30 years. So,
its best gimmick is the fact that you can buy and build your own ship physically.
Yeah. But as for the game, I'm not majorly convinced by it, I have to say. For Honor gets Chinese Imperial Warriors. I've just seen how someone spelt this in the news post, and I'm slightly ashamed. Let's put it... I'm not going to say how it's spelled. The Crew 2 beta release date, which it seemed a bit anticlimactic, as it was literally the week before it comes out. And I will be annoyed if the Crew 2 now sells better than Onrush, because Onrush is such good fun and it bombed at retail. And yeah, Crew 2, with its fine, decent, okay, vanilla raisin bran bollocks, it gets higher sales, and the world just doesn't know what to do with itself. To the shock of no one, and it opened the show, Just Dance 2019, that was announced.
For the Wii U too.
For the Wii U.
The Wii U.
They put it on fucking everything, let's be honest, because they can. Just the Dancing Panda was at least not Jason Derulo. We had more Beyond Good and Evil 2, which showed that despite Ubisoft 2, are always honest Daves when it comes to what they are and aren't making. They previously said, no, we aren't making Beyond Good and Evil 2 at all, not in the slightest. Here's Beyond Good and Evil 2. Then said, oh, no, this game doesn't have Paige or Jade in it at all. It's a new story. And it's like, oh, guess what? Paige and Jade in this trailer. And yeah, it looks like Jade has now become the villain of this one. So interesting. I'm more interested for it now, knowing that. Slightly troubling was the Space Monkey program, which where Joseph Gordon-Levitt came out and basically said, hey, make some stuff and you might get paid for it to be in the game. It is the general feel of it, which didn't go down very well on the internet, funnily enough, in a strange shock twist. Trials Rising was announced for PS4. I think while it was going on, I think it was the most negative any of us have been about anything that was shown at any conference, which is strange.
That's because they took so damn long with it.
Yeah, it was, and they did their comedy bit, and it's just like...
I don't know if that was a comedy bit or an actual fuck-up.
No, his overall attitude was, I think this is funny, which was sad. I think the main bone of contention on the night was like every minute this shit is on, Splinter Cell isn't getting announced, and it proved to be the case. The Division 2 got more show again, had been shown at another conference at this point, but yeah, they showed a bit more, less of the waffle with the fake gamer chats. Raids are in it, etc. Free DLC, yada yada yada, and that was it really for us. I mean, they did a musical number about the Donkey Kong DLC for fucking Mario Rabbids, which was just like, again, we're wasting time on this when we could be announcing another game. It would just seem a lot better. Yeah, I mean, that pretty much, I've probably gone through most of my thoughts there, funny enough, I think. So, Garri,
yes.
Tell us, how did you find Ubisoft?
It was okay. Obviously, there's some games there that I was really looking for. Division 2, I'm incredibly excited for that game. I love
Sure.
the first one, so I'm really happy to see the sequel coming along. From what it looks like, pretty well. I mean, it looks like they took a lot of issues they had with the first game and they've addressed them. They haven't really talked about the PvP stuff yet, which is quite interesting since that's a big end game aspect of the first game.
Yeah.
Or whether the story continues on from the first game, because that
It
was
sounded
just
like
left off
there was
hanging.
It did sound like it continued, but not right away.
Yeah, so we don't know if the main bad guy who set off the virus is going to be present in this game or not. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the new location. I'm excited for the season change, even though I love the snow so very much. It gives them a nice little chance to show off some more vibrant colors, I think. So I am super stoked for that. Free DLC, of course, always on board with that. It seems to be the trend everybody's going for, except for Activision, who's going backwards.
We'll get to that on certain things. Well, I don't know if it wasn't even part of the conferences that caused that ire, but yeah.
I don't think
Sony
anybody
can
wanted to have any booing moments at their conferences.
That's
but
why
yeah,
I don't do their own conferences, basically. Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Outside of that, I don't really know. I think the lack of a big surprise game at the end hurt it, because Ubisoft, for the longest time, every conference they've had, they had this big surprise game at the end of their conference, and that didn't happen this time, which was kind of sad. But Beyond Good and Evil 2, I've been excited for that since before it became a real game. And just to clarify things, it is a prequel to the first one. That's why Jade is in it. Yeah,
okay.
and why she's supposedly evil this time. So yeah, they did say that this is a prequel to Beyond Good and Evil. But again, Jade's in it, so I'm super stoked. Like you said, they said she's not going to be in it. They said a lot of stuff that's not going to happen in the game, and it's happening. And they showed a little bit of gameplay for us in the trailer, even though they showed it off screen, which irritated the hell out of me.
Yeah, they're very vague about and ambiguous about that. It's like whenever there's anything gameplay related, they're like, yeah, we'll show it on another screen, off a screen, on a screen.
Well, they
It's
showed
sort
it
of
behind
quite like-
closed doors. A lot of gameplay behind closed doors, which again is one of those things
Yeah.
that just irritates me. But yeah, I still.
There, I get it, because you can be in the ear of the people playing it, going, look, you have to understand the game is at this stage, because journalists will understand that. If you show that a game that's barely started to people that don't understand it, they'll be like, oh, this game looks shit, like that, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
It was a better idea.
To me, it's again one of those games that I'm 100% convinced that it's a next gen game.
Yeah.
I just do not see them being able to do what they want to do, ambition wise, with the current gen consoles. Like to zoom out to a whole new planet and seamlessly fly over there with no loading screens, no nothing. Like it seems impossible to me right now. It really does, and I just don't see it happening. I do feel like it is a next gen game, but as far as the community stuff they talked about, I think it's a great idea. I know people are like, oh, look, they're making the community make the game for them. It's like, well, you don't have to do anything, and the game is still going to get made.
It is quite that, you know. As much as it sounds like that, it isn't really quite that. It's more like art stuff. It's very simple.
Yeah, they're letting people show off their creative talents in a video game for everybody else to see. Like, I don't see the problem with that, personally.
Well, it's the art equivalent of, you know, what we do in this industry where we say exposure. You know, that's what you're getting paid in. Because yes, someone will get paid, but you're basically doing work not knowing if you will get paid for it. And it's like, and yeah, it's exploiting the passion of fans to get, you know, something out of it, which whether intentional or not is the end result, because people will do it regardless and hope and pray that they get through to it and everything goes right.
to me, it's just another competition. Then, if you're doing it just to get paid, then you better be the best one at it. So it's a competition.
Yeah,
I see it completely. Yeah. I see it as you love to draw. You want people to see your art skills. So this is a good chance to see somebody's art skills. And if it's good enough, hell, you might even land a job. Look at the guys who did content for Little Big Planet 3. They got jobs for their good shit. This is the same thing.
But in fairness, this was completely born out of passion, not because they were looking for a job. But this is, I think that's where the bone of contention lies, is that you basically throwing a stake into a bunch of hungry people and making them fight for it in a way. Which, as much as that's the outside message is, oh, no, we're not. No, we're just trying to give people the opportunity to have their stuff, to get them on the platform. It's like, it's not quite like they think it is. It's well-meaning, and there's no doubt about that. It's just that maybe they needed to sort of step back and go, maybe we could have done this a little bit differently. Maybe you could have done this as a separate competition. You never know. I get it, because it's what Joseph Gordon-Levitt hit record for many years. But when he sort of pointed out that he'd made paid out like $3 million on projects they'd done to people who submitted work, sounds good on the surface, but it's been many years of many projects, and $3 million basically works out to about £4 for every project. And so it's not quite as good as it sounds. It's that weird Silicon Valley-esque approach to stuff where they think, oh yeah, this sounds good, I'm helping other people to help themselves, sort of thing, but they're not kind of seeing that they're not helping as much as they could, which is fine. And I think maybe they've learned something from this, which is the main positive to take out of it, hopefully. But yeah, there was a lot of post E3 moaning about stuff, and all of it aggravated me to a certain degree. But of these, this is one at least someone responsible was like, they listened to it and were like, you know what, yeah, you might be right. There might be a slight problem to the way we handled this. That's fine. So we'll go back and look at it. Whether they do or not is a different thing. But at least they've acknowledged it. They've acknowledged it, Sony. They've acknowledged the problem in the room. They've not just said we sold a lot of shit and that was it. No, they have just said, yeah, we'll look into it. Oof, dear.
Yeah, but we'll get. I am beyond excited for that game. I think Beyond Good and Evil is one of the best games no one played out there.
Yes.
In my opinion, it's top 10 for sure.
Peak Ubisoft years, those ones. When we had the
and I hope Ubisoft releases a remaster of it on the PS4 before the first one comes out or the second one comes out, because I think more people, especially after seeing the second one, and more they show it off, the more impressive it's probably going to look. It's going to gauge a lot of interest for a lot of people. But hey, it's on PlayStation now, so you can always play it on there as well. So
yeah, that's it. Right, so let's move on to Ben.
Yeah.
It was the conference.
You were not wrong. You can say that about it more than you can Square.
I think that's about all I cared about, really. There wasn't really anything at all for me.
Were you disappointed by the lack of climbing of towers?
I was disappointed at the lack of climbing of towers, and the lack of Splinter Cell, and the lack of a new Rayman game.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping for that. Yeah, we got more rabbits instead.
So or just anything. I don't really like many Ubisoft games, so that's it. Really, not much I can talk about.
Cool, Chris.
Kind of in the same boat as both you, Garri, and you, Ben. I'm excited for The Division 2. I am sad there was no new Splinter Cell. I'm excited for Beyond Good and Evil 2. I am sad that there was no big game announcement. So, yeah, pretty much everything that's been said already. So I have nothing to add to it. It's just like, it was Ubisoft, all right.
Before we do move on, I do want to say a couple more things I totally forgot to say, if that's okay.
Yep. Yeah, good.
Yeah, For Honor should have gone free to play by now, in my opinion. they announced a new faction 2 years too late. It took them 2 years just to fix that game and all its problems.
I think they were hoping for Rainbow Six again, where a game that launched in a bad state and then gradually got better as well. I mean, and Rainbow Six is their reason to trust any game as a service game now.
Lack of Wildlands I thought was a little discouraging, because I think they put a lot of faith into that game. I was fully expecting them to announce a battle royale mode for that game, quite honestly. But its lack of absence on the show is interesting to me.
It is interesting again because it's like there's this perception about these games like For Honor, like Wildlands, and even Rainbow Six to a degree that those figures get thrust in our face every time they get the chance. It's like, but they do well. They actually do well. It's just that they're not in the mainstream doing well sort of a sense, because you can't make an esport out of the other two the same way you can Rainbow Six. You don't really see it as much. And Wildlands is really popular. I mean, last year, that and For Honor were the two best-selling games for most of the year. It's which tells you a lot. And because people want to play with each other online, and in many different ways. Yes.
I mean, so I forgot to talk about Odyssey. I am really excited for Odyssey. This is probably the most excited I've been for Assassin's Creed game in a very, very long time.
It does that thing like Brotherhood did for me, where it's it's kind of more of the same, but something a little bit different.
They're going full RPG now, from what they've said.
Choices and everything and romance.
It's the closest thing to a Wonder Woman game I'm probably going to get now. And I just love the setting of Greece. I always have. It's so vibrant and colorful. I'm super stoked for it. I really am. So much so that I installed Origins just to get a feel for how the new games play. And I haven't played Origins since I bought it back in November.
I mean, if it weren't for Origins, I wouldn't.
Wait 1 second. I just came back. I had to go AFK for a second. Now you're talking about Assassin's Creed Greece or Greece the movie?
God damn it, Ben!
Because if we're talking, Greece is just fantastic. But
and of course the mythology to me is still. I still think Greek mythology is one of the best mythologies around. So I'm super stoked for it. I really am.
Were you at all surprised or annoyed that you couldn't throw your assassin's hat and take over other people?
That was a great picture, by the way. Yes, I was. No, but yeah, I'm super excited for Odyssey. I really am. But yeah.
Cool. So, as I got you talking, Garri, what was your Ubisoft grade?
I would give it a B-.
B-. That's fairly fair. B- from you, Chris.
D.
Sorry, repeat that. I had a glitch.
D.
D. And Ben.
D.
I think that's categorically the lowest score so far. I gave C- for that one. Because I like Skull and Bones and Odyssey, to be honest.
Skull and Bones is interesting to me. Like, it looks fun, right? But it just looks like an Assassin's Creed spinoff. At the same time,
I think that it's more in depth on doing it because
because it's going to be its own game. But it's just weird to me. I don't know.
I hate how a couple of times in the trailer they tease that. Oh, look, you can go on land and do this. Like, no. All it does is just skip you to a new area in the boat. You fuckers. Oh, look, they're boarding boats, so you must get to do sword fights. No, you've just conquered the ship. That's it. It's like
maybe they cut that content because it wasn't ready to be shown. You never know.
I am really hoping that. Otherwise, they're absolute bastard trollers. And I mean, I don't need it, to be fair, because I've gone in expecting it won't be the case. But I would like Yeah, a little bit of places. I think there's like a hub world that you can sort of walk around in on foot, but that's it.
It still has more content than Sea of Thieves.
Oh dear. Oh dear. I laughed when I saw someone go, "Oh, look, Microsoft to make the first successful Rare game in X amount of years." It's like, but it's not really rare, and it wasn't really that successful in relative terms. I mean, it's successful by Microsoft terms, but that's a whole other story. Fine, so we'll crack on. I think, yeah, so far out of these ones anyway, we'll go back and review the other two that we did last week later on. But yeah, currently Ubisoft is the lowest scoring, I think now. Because thanks mainly to Ben's A- for Square-Enix. So yeah, onto the big cheese, the head honcho, the Sony conference, the one where. Well, it invoked a lot of reactions all through the night. We were also very tired at this point because it had been conference after conference. It was very late in the morning here. We said some things that may have hurt our feelings. Yeah,
True story.
True story. I'm having to scroll backwards on this because I think that's the way we've done the news on it. So we kicked off with, well, a guitar solo, really, and then into The Last of Us Part 2, which on its own, they could have done that. People might have said it was very short and disappointing in some way, but fucking solid footage and solid stuff to see. Can't believe it's looking that good already, is my main feeling. That was great. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is now free on PS Plus. That was I want to say a nice surprise. It's a surprise, at the very least. Until you download it and find out it's 74 gig and there's not leaving much space on your hard drive, and you're like, nah. Talking of disappointing waste of hard drive space, Destiny 2's Forsaken expansion also announced. I never saw anyone really care for that. I actually almost got glossed over at the time. Ghost of Tsushima.
Well, that's because they revealed it like a week before in like its own live stream.
Well, you see, that's how little I care. I didn't know that. But yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, first gameplay, which one of the first bones of contention between the staff, mainly me, and disagreeing with everyone else, I think, with that one. Remedy's new game, Control. Yeah, a good surprise. But not fucking as good as Resident Evil 2 Remake showing up. And not just showing up, right, with one trailer, but a second trailer with gameplay, and then fucking gameplay footage in the days after that. But it's coming out next year, in January. 6 fucking months. 6. And yeah, as you can tell by my slightly excited tone, I'm a bit excited about that. Very much happy. The star of my show, of all the shows, in my opinion, is just having that happen. Of course, just to make sure that everyone was a bit depressed and muted afterwards, they put Johnny Depp on stage, well, in Kingdom Hearts 3 after that, in possibly the least welcome addition to Kingdom Hearts 3 there could be. But then there was Death Stranding, again, bit divisive. Garri, very divisive. I love the new casting, I have to say. There's stuff to like there. Neo 2 was announced. Very like blasé as well. Oh yeah, here's Neo 2. Next. Spider-Man showed off new gameplay. It was good. I'm really excited for it. It's just looking better and better. And after that, well, that was the end of the show. But then after that, From Software announced they're doing a PSVR game called Derasin or something, and which, yeah, doesn't remind me of a From Software game, which is a good start. Yeah, so they were the main highlights because we had a lot of mini announcements in the days before, stuff like Beat Saber coming to PSVR, which was great. Ben, I will start with you this time.
It was a good conference. I enjoyed The Last of Us, to be honest. That was probably the best of the whole bunch for me. But
that's as much as you're going to see that game, though, because you'll buy it and not play it.
Yeah, I'll buy it and never play it again. Just like I bought Last of Us and The Last of Us Remastered and never played them. So I look forward to buying Last of Us 2 and never playing it. It's my not played game of the year.
There you go.
Spider-Man, day one. Put that in my veins right now. I want it in my veins.
It just makes me think, why did no one to give this to Insomniac earlier? Because, Jesus, it's just a match made in heaven.
I know, it's beautiful. But the only thing that really disappointed me was the lack of dreams. Yes, there was little segues, but I wanted to like a release date or a beta or anything, just something.
Yeah, that was disappointing. But at the same time, I think we did say before in the preview podcast that we didn't expect Dreams to show up here just because it's not the right kind. And, you know, it got other stuff later in the week, but as you said, no release, which is annoying. But yes.
But they announced that it'll support VR from day one and now.
Yeah. Which,
hey. I broke that news
knew.
Weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Garri did tell us this a very long time ago. Has to be said.
But also that the VR stuff will be 60 frames. But I can't wait for Dreams. I just want it now.
Yeah, being new into the world of VR again, I will very much look forward to seeing that. That's for sure. And when that comes, just a bit sooner rather than later at this point. And just looking at some of the stuff coming. It for you, Ben?
Yeah, I think that was my Sony conference. Although I'm also expecting the Resident Evil Collector's Edition to have a stuffed rat.
Stuffed rat?
You know, like the one they brought on for the demo. Yeah, when they had the demo, and the guy came on, oh look, the rat had different 2 points of views, you know, depending on the trailers. I expect that little rat to be like a figure in the Collector's Edition.
If they can do a dummy finger USB stick, then they can definitely do a rat. Okay, Chris.
Let's see. I'm excited for From Software's Deracine. I don't know if I'll be able to play it due to my various issues with VR, but I'm hoping for something like What Remains of Edith Finch, where it's kind of a, you know, like a walk-around mystery, something like that.
They are the best VR games in the sense of just chill. I prefer serene VR experiments that over heavy. Well, depending on the game. But yes.
Oh, by the way, sorry, I'm going to bring this topic a little bit. I haven't tried the World Football Soccer VR thing. What's it? Have you tried it yet?
Oh yeah. That's on my review thing.
I mean because the World Cup is in VR, isn't it?
Oh, you mean the BBC VR? Yeah. It's honestly like you're in the director's box at a football match.
I might have to download it.
Like the pitch view is a little blurry, but it has like a HD screen up above that you can look at. It's kind of cool.
I mean, I don't like football, but I might download it for shits and giggles. Thank you.
Yeah, worth a pop. There you go. Yeah, so yeah. If you like the World Cup and you're in England, the BBC VR app is great for the World Cup, has to be said. So moving on. What were we talking about, Chris?
Yeah, so Deracine, it looks interesting. Spider-Man looks cool. I'm not like a huge like Spider-Man fan, but I am a Spider-Man fan, so I'm excited for it in a way. Yeah, I don't know. Neo 2 I'm excited for. I think Sony actually had more games than any other conference of games that am looking forward to. Resident Evil 2 remake, of course. I mean, just mind-blowing. The new Remedy game, Control. I'm very much with Garri on this. Remedy is like one of the best developers.
I'm so glad
I've loved everything they've done.
Yeah. I'm so glad that they're getting a chance to be on tour because it sounds mean to say it, but wasted being on Xbox. I think alone it just hasn't done them any favors. This really does look fun too. I didn't get to see the trailer till afterwards because I was too busy moaning about something. I think at the time probably goes to Tsushima because I think that was just before it. But yeah, it is a game I'm very much looking forward to now as well.
Yep. We may have lost Ninja Theory, but if we get Remedy, I'm okay.
Yeah, it's not a bad trade. Not a bad trade.
Yeah.
Still too soon, man. I'm so sour about that.
Ghost of Tsushima. Gee, fuck, man.
Tsushima. I would go.
Please pronounce it right. Ghost of Tsushima. I am very, very excited for this one. I've loved everything Sucker Punch has ever done as well, so I'm looking forward to this new foray. And one thing I really enjoyed over the week too, one of the devs from Sucker Punch said that the Ubisoft team was lucky that they never tried to do what it was, Edo era Japanese history in their Assassin's Creed game. Everybody wanted like a ninja Assassin's Creed, and the Sucker Punch team's like, no, you they wouldn't have been able to do this, man. Apparently, it's very, very in depth in the actual culture and lore and all of that. They're really going all out, it seems. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
In bad news, they did get like From Software having a go and Neo having a go at Japanese historical culture stuff and a mythology. Mm-hmm. So I mean, yeah. At least
I'm calling it now. Calling it now. Next year, Assassin's Creed will as well.
Not everybody will finally get what they want, and then they'll play it, and then they'll be disappointed.
Because I wouldn't be surprised if it was the game that was going to be this year, but because of Origin's delay,
yeah, maybe. We'll never know.
I'll find out. I'll jump dimensions. Spirit back.
I'm not a Destiny 2 fan, so I could care less about Destiny 2. Same with Call of Duty. I'm not pre-ordering Black Ops 4. Sorry. And then the Last of Us Part 2. I saved this one for last on purpose. I can't wait. I love everything about it. I love everything that I'm seeing from it, and I think they're teasing it. Just the Naughty Dog is teasing this all just in the right way. Because they really know what kind of whets our appetite for it. After I finished the first Last of Us, I never went through a second time because I couldn't bring myself to do it. Like, it was just I didn't even want to try on the harder difficulty later. I just like, this is the story. This is how I experienced this. I want to save this little nugget of nostalgia for as long as I can. And I had no interest in playing it again. And then they show this, and now I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go back into the Last of Us world and get the tension, the death, the hopelessness, and the victory that come in these stories that Naughty Dog has shown they're very capable of weaving. This is probably my number one. I don't know what you want to call it. Like my most excited for, my most hoped for game right now is Last of Us Part 2.
That is good shout, Garri.
Yes.
Sony conference. You certainly had some feelings about the Sony conference.
I did have feelings. I feel like, okay, I'll admit that at first I think my opinion was a little swayed. I rewatched it, and at first I said it was a 4 out of 10. It's not. It's definitely, it was a lot better. Maybe because I was working at the same time I was watching it, so the quality wasn't that great for me. But I'll just get into it now. Last of Us 2 for me looks fabulous. At this point, I don't know how Naughty Dog does it. I don't know if they made some sort of deal with the Crossroads demon or something. If Neil Druckmann dies in 10 years, we'll know. I don't understand how their animation team works. Like, I don't understand. I can't even like imagine the programming that goes behind it. And I don't blame the guy from Eidos Montreal calling it fake, because if I can't explain it, I won't believe it either.
I mean, I think it was more a case of like like I said earlier, it's like that Tomb Raider footage definitely was better for coming out first because it got pissed on royally from some of the stuff they showed in this one. And this game is further behind, technically speaking, as well, which is just, yeah, that's got to sting somewhat.
It's so cinematic, and everything in it is so unexpected. Like how he throws her over the counter, and how when she stabs the dude in the face, and he just falls over realistically and hits the counter and reacts to it. Yeah. It's like how?
Wait, she picks stuff up as well. It's like running past stuff and just putting an arm out to grab it like that without stopping. It's like,
it's insane. I don't even know what the line of code looks like for these animations. Like, it's probably so terrifying. So terrifying. I don't know how they do it. And they all seem so happy all the time, all the developers. I'm like, how? You see, like, God of War in development, and, like, you see the end making of footage, and those guys look like they went to hell, fought off a bunch of demons, and came back. And I don't understand how these guys are doing it. It's insane.
I think for the first time in a couple of games now, they've been able to sort of get back into a rhythm of doing things right. Uncharted 4, they had a lot of trouble with, because of different teams and Amy Hennig leaving halfway through, and it was a big mess. And it's probably part of the reason why Bruce Straley left, because it gets too much. But I think they're a bit.
And it helps a lot, I think, that Sony gives them all the time in the world to do this.
Yeah.
Well, from the way it looks, like they don't come out and be like, you need to get this game out in 3 years. That's it. No matter what state. That doesn't seem like what it is. Like they do the game, and then when it's ready to go, it's ready to go.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me. So yes, I am very much looking forward to The Last of Us 2. Well, The Last of Us, to me, is still the greatest video game ever made, personally. And even though I never wanted a sequel, I'm not going to complain that we are getting a sequel.
I think the way they've handled it, now that we know that Joel is not likely to be a playable character, and it is Ellie's story, it makes it feel like a good reversal of everything. That you're getting the legacy of that story rather than just like a direct knockoff sequel. Let's have twice as many guns. Let's jump out of windows and hang off planes. And they are just keeping it grounded, keeping it a bit further in. Yeah. We managed to get all this without any clickers or anything. It's impressive.
Well, that's another thing I wanted to bring up. Like, they didn't show any of the clickers. Joel wasn't in this trailer, which again asks the question, like, is he dead or alive? Which got brought up in the first trailer.
In the beginning, that guy who's talking to Ellie does say your old man has to know about this, so it would suggest he's still around. But I think he's too old at this point to really do anything. He's been battered to shit, remember, in the last game. And true. I mean, like, really, so at this point, if Ellie's this old, he's got to be getting on a bit. So I think he'd really want to play another Metal Gear Solid 4, where you're just controlling a geriatric. So, especially if you can't get a stealth suit.
It'd be like a sequel to Ico, but instead of holding the hand, you push his wheelchair around.
I do. My theory is that he has some sort of injury or disability caused from something that he just can't move properly like he used to, and it's a good way to sort of keep him out of the game.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, they didn't show any of the other characters they showed off in the last trailer, like Laura Bailey's character, any of that. They seem to have a pretty big cast this time around. So even though they said Ellie is going to be the only playable character, like it'll be interesting to see, like, why did they show that second trailer if she wasn't anywhere near that trailer?
I reckon it's a misdirection there, but there may be. Sure, I wonder if they'll go for like a short story route where Ellie is the main person, but there are like little offshoot stories that get told. But I think it may just be that they were introducing the wider world, because this is clearly a community that's been, as I said, is guarded and keeps out the infected. And there's this other faction that are really a bit sinister and disturbing. And it seemed to be that last trailer was a clash between Ellie's faction and this other faction. out in the wild, and I assume that. So yeah, that's probably what's going on. I do wonder if that last trailer was just like a tech demo, so to speak, of what they were doing, and rather than being a full. Because you see it all the time with these games, stuff that just doesn't end up making it in the final build because it's just there for, to show early on. This, however, definitely is clearly stuff that's supposed to be in the game.
Yeah,
yeah,
and go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, that was it. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say the greatest kiss animation in video games yet. It's funny because the day before that conference, I was talking with Tim, and I said, "There's never been a good kissing animation in a video game," and I never thought there would be because mocap and stuff, and you have to essentially hand do it, and here it is with Naughty Dog, and again, it's black magic to me. So, yeah, that game and what they're doing is just insane. It really is to me. But yeah, Ghost of Tsushima. I am very excited for this game. I'm a huge samurai guy. I love the setting. I love the Mongol invasion, which is something that a lot of history classes don't talk about at all, because they don't last very long. But I think it looks fantastic gameplay-wise. It reminded me a lot of Bushido Blade mixed with older Assassin's Creed games where it was more timed rather than kind of hack and slashy. And to me, it looked really cool. Like, it looked very fluid as well, especially when it came to like death animations and all that. Like, it looked very cinematic combat-wise. Graphically, I think it looks phenomenal. I love the lighting they chose to use for that trailer. The stealth stuff looked really cool. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, the combat also reminded me of For Honor.
Yeah, but the For Honor is like a natural progression from Bushido Blade in that regard. Yeah. At the time, I was not thoroughly impressed, mainly because, like I said, Sucker Punch, I just don't trust them to do things to the max that they could do. Very much like Guerrilla used to be, whereas, okay, so they've got good ideas, they're just not quite getting there. They're not quite nailing it like that. And that worried me here because, again, this is, a Western developer doing Eastern culture, and there always tends to be a lot of stereotypy stuff. But the stuff we've learned in the week since then about, all the research they've done, the fact that they have a Japanese voice option, stuff like that, I'm warming to it more than I did at the time. And this was the one that disappointed me at the 4 just because of that. And no denying that it looks pretty because they make pretty games. Again, something you could say about Guerrilla, makes very pretty games. It's just worried about the substance behind it. Maybe much like Guerrilla, they'll get this chance to show that they can do it all with something new that isn't so rooted in normal bollocks that we have to endure, like Infamous.
I think it's great because they don't have to take anything they did in the last game and try to make it better here. This is completely new and original, and it gives them, I think, it forces them to learn how to do things differently. And I think that's going to help them a lot because they're not going to be stuck in this one state of mind where, well, we can jump so high. Why can't we jump so high in this game from our previous games, Yeah,
that's it. You get it to come at a new direction, and like I was saying, Guerrilla got to do this, and it worked for them. And it's not guaranteed it's going to work for everyone, but I think with the trust Sony are having with their developers, giving them new properties and new things to do, is that it's clearly paying off in the long run. You think of all the companies that come and worked with them. From Software came and did a different spin on their Souls style, and Bloodborne is like the favorite of many now. In that series, Insomniac, they did a remake of one of their old games, but now they're back making a Spider-Man game, which everyone who's come away from that E3 playtesting it has just loved it. And like we said, Guerrilla getting to make Horizon after all that, and after doing safe, dependable stuff. This is the thing that Microsoft have missed out on, is having studios where, yes, they've made a few games they didn't really want to make necessarily after a while, but they've been given the chance down the line to make something that they want to make, that is their passion project. That, you know, with the,
it really just comes down to that they're allowed to make these new IPs now, and to prove that the developer with the name that they've already made can still be successful doing something other than what they're known for. Guerrilla did it with Horizon. They've only been known for Killzone, so naturally everybody assumed Killzone would be the next big thing they're working on. They succeeded with Horizon. Naughty Dog did the same thing back in their. What did they do? They did platformers, and then out of nowhere they did Uncharted. Though not as successful as you would think, but we'll get the franchise that it created now, and what it did for that studio. Even with The Last of Us, another brand new IP, now considered one of the greatest games ever made. And now they're working on a new IP after The Last of Us 2. They've already said they're working on a new IP. It's just the freedom, I believe, that Sony gives the studios to do new things, I think is miraculous, because they're putting so much faith in the developers to prove to the world that that new IPs can still be successful. And it's working for them. Every new IP that they've released so far has worked, and it has sold very well.
And I do think a big part of that is not forcing the usual bollocks that most of the industry goes with on them, you know, because you see it where Microsoft has had this again as well, where there's even the parties they do own, they're saying, yeah, well, you got this, you know, games as service bullshit in this game and this game. Sea of Thieves is a very good recent example of that, where, you know, if they'd done it right, it would have been a smashing game. If Sony had made that game or backed that game, it would have been a bit more content rich than it was, I think. And you can see the differences there. You know, it's like this is so much like we were saying earlier, where, you know, like Bethesda supplement their single player games by just rehashing the odd thing here and there, and, you know, the stuff that makes money, so they can afford to take a hit if a gamble doesn't quite pay off. They do it here with, like, well, they sell hardware by the ton, so why not just, and they get the PS Plus subscriptions and stuff like that, and people go, oh, why doesn't it go into the online infrastructure and all that, but where it goes clearly is into the games and into giving studios money to say, yeah, look, you can go and make this game now with less risk and less hassle, because it never feels like any of these games are, you know, a last chance saloon for any of these companies. It's always a case of fresh, hopeful, new stuff. It's like, it'd be good if it's good. Even like when something gets shat on, but it still seems to do well. So if you see Detroit, you know, it had detractors, but it also scored quite well, sold quite well. So they can't lose. And then they had this slightly lower tier of games that are a bit cheaper to make, but, you know, just to have partnerships with the likes of Sega and Atlas to do stuff like Yakuza and Persona, and it's good to see that there's such variety, and they're keeping that up. They need to make sure that is maintained, because it shows if you don't have that going forward, you're just swimming in circles, essentially.
Yeah, but just quickly through the rest of it. Black Ops 3 free, that's cool. Game is trash, beyond trash. I downloaded. I played the campaign, which is the only reason I downloaded it, because I stopped playing Call of Duty. I think it was after, what was it, Advanced Warfare? Well, the one that had Kevin Spacey in it.
Yeah, Advanced Warfare.
Yeah, did Ghost come after that?
No, Ghost was before that.
Okay, yeah. So the one with Kevin Spacey was the last one I played, and I saw the deterioration of the single player storytelling, and this game proved it, because for the first 4 missions I was doing simulation missions for absolutely no goddamn reason, to learn how to use abilities that I didn't even have until I eventually unlocked them, like second to last mission in the campaign.
Very much when I reviewed World War II last year, it's like, okay, I've not played one of these since Ghost, so I'm sure it's got to be a bit better, a bit more improved. It's like, no, this is a campaign from PS2, still. It's still the same. Oh, we did that one good campaign once, so we're going to copy some of the stuff from that and then just change nothing.
Yeah, it is just so off rails. Like, you're fighting robots. I felt like I was playing the Terminator in the Call of Duty world, and then I was like moving around in somebody's dreams and memories.
You Sandman now.
It was so terrible. I was in World War II with advanced weapons, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on?
Why does this sound so amazing? I'm gonna have to play it now. I've downloaded it.
In theory.
That sounds that sounds so good.
But yeah, no. I finished it. I uninstalled it instantly. I don't care. The best thing is the moment I start is like, pre-order Black Ops 4 to play these old maps that we released 10 years ago.
By the way, that's pissed off a few people. You know why?
Why?
Because those maps are exclusive to PlayStation.
Oh, see? Like I said, backwards, Activision. Backwards. It's the way to go.
So if you pre-ordered Black Ops 4 on Xbox One or PC, not only did you have to buy the game in the first place, but you won't get those maps ever.
Oh, awesome. No, I won't say ever, man. This is Activision we're talking about.
Well, look at Destiny. They're finally getting the weapons that Sony got.
They're finally, but they are getting them, right?
Yeah, when the new expansion comes out. They'll get these maps with Black Ops 4. They won't get them with Black Ops 3. So they'll get them just on a different... They'll have to buy the whole new game to just play them. Well, we can play them on Black Ops 3.
Oh, awesome. Well, yeah, moving on. Trash beyond trash. Surprised it's a PS Plus. I'm surprised Activision let that happen, but whatever. Let's see. Control. Oh, baby. I am so excited for Control. Like, I was super confused in the trailer, and then I saw some gameplay footage that they had on the show floor. That game looks like PsyOps, the Mindgate conspiracy, and I'm all for that. Really excited for that game now. I love Remedy. I bought all their games except for Quantum Break because I don't have an Xbox, but I can get on PC now, so when it's $10, I will buy it.
Please enjoy the 100 gigabyte download or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Should do Game Pass? Doesn't Game Pass do Quantum Break?
Oh yeah, I could.
Interesting.
But I don't want to give Microsoft money.
Also, I don't think. I don't know if that's because Game Pass games right now only work on PC if it's cross-buy. I'm not sure if Quantum Break was one of them.
Pretty much all of them at this point. It's
all of them are.
Yes. So just further diluting every use of it, the word exclusive at Microsoft's conferences, basically. It's
launch exclusive.
No, let's not talk about that misdirection.
Yeah,
it's okay. This statement I'm making is exclusive to your ears right now.
And to everybody else who's going to listen to it.
Yeah, but it's timed exclusive.
Resident Evil 2, I'm excited for it. I think it looks great, actually. Everything they seem to be doing looks really, really good.
That engine just does wonders. I noticed with the Devil May Cry 5 trailer as well. It's just like, god damn it. The face stuff is just great.
Yeah.
For a zombie game, that's just marvelous to see.
Yeah, I saw some stuff like he shot the zombie in the head with a shotgun, and you see like the muscular texture appear because the skin fell off, and it just looks so nasty and awesome. And like the zombies walk around without half a head still coming at you. I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah, did you see that footage where they were showing where they shot the arm and it like broke and it was like hanging off, like just still hanging there?
I didn't see that one. No.
Yeah, that's like the best part of Binary Domain was that the whole, you can target the limbs. It's the limbs like that. It just reminded me of that. I was like, oh baby, that is just. It looks like it'd be a bit more zombie heavy than the original game version, but
which is good. Zombies need to have that threat back, and I'm glad they are.
Yeah, if they're slow, it makes sense that outnumbering is the way they work, which is the best way to go with slow zombies.
Yeah, Yeah, but I am really excited. Like, Resident Evil 2 isn't my favorite Resident Evil, but this remake has definitely piqued my interest quite a bit. Really looking forward. Outside of the fact that Claire just looks weird to me now, I don't know.
But the thing is,
what is it with
because they're supposed to be young again. They're supposed to be young again. Is the other problem? There's like
that's fine. You have references to what they looked like when you first made them.
Yeah, but come on.
I don't know.
Very different.
She
the
looks
character design.
She looks like Emilia Clarke to me now, and I can't unsee it now that I've seen it, and it irritates me. I get it. She doesn't even look like a white girl, which is essentially what she was when they showed her off. She looks Asian to me now, but I don't know.
So better.
Sure, I guess. I don't know. Well, yeah, I am looking forward to it. I like the idea that you can barricade doors and stuff now because there's no loading screens. You just go through doors now. That was cool. But yeah, I am wondering if they'll have the 4 different campaigns like they did before, or if they're just gonna have the 2 long ones.
Well, the unlockables are there, aren't they? I think they're slightly different. I think there are the main campaigns, but I don't. There's so much replayed. I guess there'll be remixes of stuff that are in it, is in it, and that isn't in it. We know that Hunk and Tofu are in it, so there's obviously going to be some sort of unlockable challenges.
Yeah, and it looks like they hinted that Wesker will be in it as well in the trailer. You heard somebody talking, and I'm assuming it's Wesker. But yeah, it should be good. It's great to finally see it. I'm still wondering what the game was that they said that they finished making completely, and they're just waiting for it to be announced. Because it's not Devil May Cry 5 or Resident Evil 5 or Resident Evil 2 remake. Even in that footage, it still looked like they had some technical problems, like zombies going through textures and stuff.
Yeah, but the problem is you also when you do bring a demo, it is going to be a slightly older build because there's things happen in between, and you have to cut off the section, so to speak, to be playable. So they could have done that a few weeks ago, and then now they've done a lot of stuff since then. You never know. But yes, it's still 6 months away, so there's plenty of time for, especially the way they seem to work with that. I'm very glad that for all the times they've spent not talking about it, since announcing it, that when they did finally talk about it, they showed gameplay, gave us a release date that's 6 months away. I love that approach. Much prefer that. So
should have been Halloween, man.
Well, look, as long as it's dark outside early in the evening, it's perfect. It's why I said it was annoying that Vampire came out in summer months, because it's like I want to play a gothic vampire game in October, not in June. It doesn't make sense to be
when the sun goes down at 10 p.m.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, I've got to do my mission tonight, but I can't get out till about 11. It's and then I've only got a few hours. But bring your horror-based games out at the right time of the year. Come on, when you want to be cozy indoors.
It's fine. I'm in Scarborough. Any time of the year is fine. And the time's able for a week after my birthday.
Yeah, well, Smash Bros. Is on my birthday, so. But they knew I was coming.
What did they close the show with? Spider-Man. Spider-Man looks great fun to me. Like Chris, I'm not the biggest Spidey freak out there, but obviously I know the character. I know most of his lore. It looks great. It looks, from what I've read of people swinging in the city, it sounds amazing to swing around, which is essentially 90% of Spider-Man.
Yep.
And I'm excited about that. Combat looks good. I just don't see what's really bad about the game. The only thing to me, like, it just looks like a game that just took everything that other people have done fantastically and just made it into one game.
It's more,
and to me,
faster, more agile version.
Yeah,
I have to say.
Yeah, and that it makes sense because it's Spider-Man. And it works. I'm not saying it's bad. It's going to be fantastic. It's Insomniac. in my opinion, never really done a bad game. So yeah, I am excited for it. I'm excited to see what more villains they bring in, or if what they showed off. I hope they didn't blow their whole load in that trailer outside of the main villain.
Nah.
But I like the design.
Yeah,
I like the villains' designs where they have that human behind them, but they mostly wearing like the armored suits now instead of like the skin tight is part of me suit. So that was cool.
Electro was good in that sense because the star-shaped mask he used to have in the old days is now just like a scar of a star on his face, and it's like it's a cool progression of that. I mean, we know that Kingpin's in it, and that's just making me think that's going to be the secret person who's paying for everything after all. But I'm still kind of hoping for a Harry Osborn revenge story, as it is that like 8 years into Spidey's tenure as a Spider-Man. And there's still a chance, I think, that he's getting offed at some point in the game, and for Miles.
Probably in the beginning. You never know.
Maybe, but then I don't know. We shall see. We shall see.
But yeah, no, I am excited for it. Very much excited for Spider-Man.
Again, one of those I just want to play it already now. That's it. I'm not.
Well, that's the thing, right? That was one of my main concerns when they said that Spider-Man is going to have a big showing. And it's like, we already know what it's about. We've seen it so much now. Like, I just didn't feel like it needed that much time at E3.
I found it welcoming to have it, and I was glad to see more of it. But yeah, I get you what you're saying. It's like of all the 4 games, when we did a poll on what people would most like to see, out of the big 4, it ranked last. And it's not because of the quality of the game. It's literally because everyone's seen it already compared to the other 3. That they hadn't really seen. No one's really seen Ghost of Tsushima or Death Stranding in action, and they'd seen only a tiny bit of The Last of Us. And it's like, so yeah, it had that going against it. But at the same time, nice to see something that's coming out very soon, getting a nice showing all the same. It's nice to see they're treating it right. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
You missed one, I might add. First of
course. I know I did.
Yes, Garri. Please tell us.
Death Stranding. All my fears came true with Death Stranding at E3. Everything I worried that game was going to do, it seemed to do in that trailer. And it may be because it was just a trailer and the game still has so much development. We still don't know when it's coming out. But I was not in any way excited for this game. Nothing intrigued me about it. All the exciting stuff we've already seen with the weird ghost shadow spirit things and, the baby and the weird robot thing that tells them where the monsters are. Everything else just seemed so boring to me. Just walking around, carrying stuff. What is the point of it? Sure, we'll find out. There's even a moment where we heard the sound effects that he uses in the game, where the guy loses the stuff he's carrying in the water, and it's literally the exact same sound of you dropping shit in Metal Gear Solid. I don't know. To me, it's just, I'm not excited for it. And I think I've come to this realization now, bear with me, that I feel, and a lot of people might hate me and disagree with me, that I don't think, even though there was really bad history between Kojima and Konami, at this point, after seeing this particular trailer, I don't feel like Konami is 100% in the wrong with what happened there. I feel like Kojima tried to do some crazy-ass weird shit in Metal Gear Solid 5, and they said no, and it soured a lot of shit between the two of them. We hear a lot about one side of the story. We don't hear a lot about the other side of the story.
I mean, fair to hear from either of them.
Well, no,
Neither.
but like rumors and speculations, it's always everything against Konami. And I feel like after seeing this trailer, there is a reason why Konami did not let Kojima make anything other than Metal Gear Solid. Because it's what Death Stranding is now. Yeah, he has a lot of faith behind him, and that's thanks to his past work. And don't get me wrong, the games he did before that, Snatcher, I loved Snatcher. I played a fan-translated edition of Snatcher on my PC, and I thought it was awesome. But even Boktai was fun. Zone of the Enders was fun, even though he didn't himself make it. He just produced it, and I think he directed the cutscenes. He didn't really do that game himself. To me, I feel like so many people have so much faith in him, and you see it all the time on Twitter. Lord and Savior, this and that. And to me, at this point, I feel like they're worshiping a cult leader. Everything he says and does at this point, people eat up like it's the greatest thing in the world. And sure, maybe he has some underlying meanings in his trailers and the stuff he's showing in Death Stranding. But what if there is no underlying meaning? What if it's just what it is? You carry shit. That's your job in that game. And you have to survive bad shit happening. Like, I just feel like people, anytime anybody says negative things about Kojima and anything he does, it's like they're going against the word of God. And yeah, I don't know. Like, to me, I just don't see it anymore. I started seeing it with Metal Gear Solid 5 and what was going on there. Sure, the game was solidly good, but everything, all the underlying meanings that he showed off in the trailers to that game had no substance behind them. You grow horns because you make bad decisions. Well, what was the underlying meaning behind that? We never got an answer because the story never really finished. And I don't know. Like I said, maybe it's just the trailer that he showed here of you just walking around carrying stuff. And then again, he went into a cutscene trailer, essentially, when the shadow things appeared. And we still don't know how, outside of you carrying stuff and climbing mountains, how the game, like, does the game offer anything else outside of the stealth moments? So we see him pull out a weird gun. And does the game have shooting mechanics? Probably. How they work, we don't know. There's just still so much that he's not showing. And every trailer he shows just asks more and more questions. And at this point, I think by the time the game comes out, it's going to come out with a big-ass question mark behind it. And I personally don't think all the things that people are hoping that game is going to do and be, it's not going to deliver on their hopes.
I see. I think there isn't really anything I really think it will be at this point, which is always my favorite thing about lead up to a Kojima game, is that it's the speculation that's fun. The what am I missing sort of thing. And there always is, even if it isn't exactly what you think it'll be or what the trailers may allude to. He's very good at doing that, it seems, where, you know, a trailer will take you one direction, the game will take you another, because he just doesn't want stuff spoiled. The whole walking thing seemed like a very deliberate, not showing everything thing, because, you know, there are buildings in the distance a couple of times. There's other points of interest you could see in the distance as well. It seems like a very deliberate decision to go to show the empty stuff, which may just be because it's still very early in development. Which, you know, given Kojima likes to take his time, it wouldn't be unlikely. Yeah. I mean, it's all, as you say, at this point, is rumors and speculation about what will happen and what is, you know, and what the what's going on exactly in the game. If it has this weird, you know, sort of interlinked thing where everyone's game is connected somehow, that could be interesting. He's talked about Dark Souls having an influence in some ways, so yeah, it would be intriguing to see.
The other thing I found interesting is it doesn't even look like you play as Norman Reedus for a lot of the game either. Like, a lot of the scenes when he's carrying shit, you look like some random ass dude, not Norman Reedus.
Which is why I think that maybe it ties into this cross-dimension sort of thing, where it's like there'll be alternate versions of him, different lifetimes, because time is always carrying forward in this game. For the sound of it, is like it's going at an accelerated rate, and I don't know. This baby is integral to it because it's the only constant. They said it was stated it is the only constant going throughout the whole game, which does, as you suggest, mean that maybe Northern Reedus isn't the one. I wonder if the other characters are just other versions of him. An alternate dimension. Lea Seydoux is one of them, and interesting that they got the woman who played the Bionic Woman in the old TV series is in it as well. Which is that's apart from because Kojima had a crush on her when she was younger, and being Kojima made sure she looked younger in this for that reason. But yeah, I do wonder if you are still Norman Reedus' character, but he is, I don't know, he's maybe the most constant of the characters you play as. It could be a huge misdirection, but the fact that he's been so heavily involved would suggest he's got to have the most involvement. But I do wonder if people like Guillermo del Toro and Mads Mikkelsen will have like smaller roles somehow, and they will just be other versions of the Reedus. We won't know. That's for me is always the beauty of it. I still don't know what this game is. I'm mad about that. Can be tiny bit annoyed because you want to know more. But I had to rewatch it because after the conference because it was 4:00 in the morning. It was really tiring and it's just not quite there with everything. But yeah, it was almost perfect sort of trailer to have at that time of day because it's like did I wake up or am I asleep? I can't tell. It's but yeah, but no, I can get where you're coming from. I can get where a lot of people are coming from with it. It's that usually is when a Kojima game excites me most, though, when it gets that sort of reaction in trailers or whatever. So that's where it lies for me. It wasn't my favourite thing shown because of Resi 2, but it still intrigued me, especially with the additions to the cast. But anything else, Garri, for you?
I think those are all the big games that they had, right?
Yeah.
I was disappointed that they didn't stream, especially since I got to play it and how fun that game was. I love that they presented a lot of stuff through Dreams. Like, took a little break from a trailer, showed some, like, Dreams a little bit, and then, dude playing a saxophone or something, and then move on to the next trailer. I did like that part of the presentation. But yeah, no Dreams kind of made me sad. They didn't really touch on VR at all during the press conference, which in a way makes sense with the direction they went.
Yeah, I mean, their big VR stuff was like announced before, in the days before. And it's nice that we're getting Beat Saber. Nice that, there's a Tetris Effect. Just, that alone is an intriguing thing. Like other companies are just sort of filling the void with the VR stuff. Thankfully, Bethesda. Yeah, I think EA are clearly going up on it, for instance.
I think the biggest disappointment I took out of Sony's press conference was, and through Sony's announcements throughout the week of E3, was the lack of release date announcements for really anything. Not even a release window. Nothing for Ghost of Tsushima, nothing for Last of Us 2, nothing for Death Stranding. We already knew about Spider-Man, but nothing for Dreams, nothing for Astrobot Rescue Mission, the big first-party Studio Japan VR game. There's really zero release dates from them, from what we've already known, outside of the ones we already knew about.
I think there's a bit of apprehension to it as well. I think when Microsoft had theirs, and whenever a date came up, it was always ambiguous, unless it was coming out like this year. It was always like, it's coming out in 2019. It's like, you said Crackdown 3 was coming out in 2016, 2017, 2018. So it's like, I get why they don't do it. Because
I totally get it too, especially for the big games like The Last of Us 2. Who knows? That could be 2020 as far as we know. But for some of the smaller titles, like Tetris VR, the Treasures game, no release date for that. I'm pretty sure they can give you a window, at least fall 2018.
Well,
we didn't even get that.
Tetris Effect we know is coming out this year, for instance, as a game. So there were vague sort of suggestions. Yeah, it's coming out at some point this year. I do wonder in the case of those, it's like we're not particularly realistic because the next time we do a Sony-based conference, that's the day it will come out, sort of thing. Which the one show it didn't happen with was this one, but instead we just got a free game dropped like that, which was a nice change, I suppose.
But that did kind of disappoint me. That not even a window for really anything that they're working on.
Yeah, but like I said, yeah, go on.
And well, I was just gonna mention the biggest disappointment of no Superman at all. So
yeah, I mean, but
not even in Lego DC Villains, there was no Superman.
Retrospect, I get it because we should have thought about that with Spider-Man being one of the big four. It would have been odd to then have that announcement alongside it. So we should have known it was dead and buried after Square and all that turn up Square after Microsoft showed that it wasn't going to happen.
They're saying now it's going to be Comic-Con.
Yeah, I mean, it would make more sense. I mean,
yeah.
And this is the other thing with Sony. Unlike Microsoft, Sony have like 2, maybe 3 more opportunities to show games off this year, and give release dates and things like that. And so there is still that for them. Same with Nintendo. It's like, a lot of disappointment where there was like, oh, but we didn't see anything of this, blah, blah, blah. It's like, but then you think about it, yes, but they got more times to show things this year. It's like, there's the difference. Microsoft don't. They don't really have anything planned in the same sense.
And I think a lot of stuff that really ruined E3 for me this year, outside of the games I really wanted to see, like 7 Remake and all that, was all the rumors and all the leaks that came out before it. I think it really killed a lot of the surprises that should have been surprises, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All the announcements, Sony announced what games they're going to show, the big 4. It's like, in my opinion, that ruined it for me. And I think it ruined it for a lot of people. We saw so many articles, some very misdirected, mishandled writing articles, that specifically focused on those 4 games. And it kind of sucks. Like, we didn't get so many games that we already know are in development. Where was Darksiders 3? I'm looking forward to that game. Nothing. That game is slated to come out this year.
That said, it's a year where a lot of games were announced, to be honest. And much like release windows now, it's like, do you really want to go up against all these other games making their announcements? Or do you want to see if you can get away with doing it on your own terms? Rockstar learned this years ago, where it's like, we don't need E3, we can do what we want. Sure, they're a very big thing of their own, but some companies get that.
When you have a huge name behind you, like, we know that a new BioShock is in development. 0 info on it. Like, I think BioShock can carry its weight in an announcement. Like, to me, it feels like if you don't think your game is good enough to show off at the biggest gaming show in the world, then it's probably not good enough to release.
Yeah. So, Garri.
Yes.
I suppose we'll score it now, yeah? So what grade we'll give it? I will start, I will say B+, just mainly because Spider-Man was great to see, Last of Us was great to see. Death Stranding still left me intrigued. I warmed up to Ghost of Tsushima. It was nice to see, the Black Ops thing was a surprise at least. And Resident Evil 2 and Control happened, and great stuff. As you said, minor disappointments and stuff that didn't get shown, but still can't complain. What about you, Garri? After
rewatching it a second time with better quality and nothing to distract me, it was definitely a lot better. I would say B-.
B-. That's a definite change of heart. That's good.
Yes.
Chris?
A- for me.
A-. Good call. Ben?
C+.
C+. Is this because you just don't want Square to be...
Well, no. Apart from Spider-Man and Dreams, there wasn't really much for me. So,
fair enough. I mean, I will add in this that my main minus point was the presentation was a bit all over the place, but I still applaud the fact that they tried something different. You know, it's like, even if it didn't pay off quite the way they'd hoped. Okay, so I think currently that still means Bethesda had the best one. Quickly on the Nintendo, because there's not much unlike Microsoft, there really isn't much relevant to us, but we might as well mention it. Disappointing slightly in the sense of it was a short one, but like we said, Sony's is the same. They have other opportunities to show stuff, and they did show gameplay stuff in Treehouse afterwards of both Smash Bros. And of Pokemon Let's Go, and both were fun to look at, I have to say. Probably didn't need to spend 20 minutes on showing us balance tweak. Basically, they spent 20 minutes on patch notes, is what they did, for a game that hasn't even come out yet. And before that, yeah, it was all right. It didn't really fill me with glee. The Daemon X Machina game looked interesting. I think you said, Garri, it looks like a mega boost, which is like, yeah. I was quite into that. I quite like the look of it, I have to say. Beyond that, I don't know what to say. It was nice to see the Smash stuff and see that everyone was in it. And yeah, that was it, really. Fortnite we already knew about. And yeah, Reggie talked for a bit about stuff and didn't really go anywhere. I'm just going to give my score now, really, and say it was a solid C, really. What about you, Ben?
Not enough Pokemon stuff at the event, and no Metroid, no anything I really cared about, so I'm going to go with D.
D?
Yeah.
They even trolled Metroid by having it at the end of the Smash trailer.
Oh no, I'll give it a C plus because of Reggie trolling a Smash Bros. Twat. I don't know if you've heard the story, but a couple of years ago, one of the sort of like top league Smash esports players lost his match.
Yeah.
And then during that year, he challenged Reggie. And then the year after, they actually had a fun match between Reggie and the tournament player. And he beat Reggie, and he's like, "Oh, do you even play Nintendo games?" And started, on stage, sort of like taking the piss, even though Reggie, it was literally supposed to be just a fun shot. Reggie responded with, that's because I'm spending 16 hours a day running a company and not spending 16 hours a day playing Smash Brothers. And this year, for the tournament, he wasn't even invited. So, yeah.
C plus. Chris, what about you?
C minus for me.
C minus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any words, or just that?
No, that's pretty much it. Smash Brothers look cool. Yeah, no new Metroid, and yeah.
Splendid. Garri.
Yeah, disappointed with no Metroid Prime 4. It was one of the big games I was looking forward to at E3. They didn't talk about their online service at all.
No.
That's because we haven't paid the $20 yet.
God damn it! I mean, we're 3 months away, and
but remember, you can pre-order on Amazon.
Which I might point out, coming down the line, right? As they've not said anything different, for all the fuss about Fortnite this week and Sony stuff, there's only one company that don't make you pay to play Fortnite on top of everything else by September, and that's Sony.
Oh wow!
So, yes, tiny things. Carry on, Garri.
Yeah. Again, Octopath Traveler demo came out. Really excited about that, especially so close to release date. Ridley coming in as a character, I don't get it. I don't get the hype behind Ridley. He's a fucking pterodactyl. I mean, I would think Wild Luigi would be more deserving, but he's not even in the game. Totally shafted.
Wild Luigi deserves to be into every game.
So many memes have come out about that now. That's not in there, but a fucking pterodactyl gets in.
I highly suspect there'll be DLC characters at this rate, because the Nintendo are getting with a program on that front. So
the Waluigi season pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Smash like Chris. I think it's too fucking chaotic to sometimes enjoy it. And the fact that people think this is a new Smash Bros. This is not. This is a port of the Wii U Smash Brothers. It just has all the characters. This is not a new Smash Brothers game.
It's running on Unreal Engine 4, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that one ran on Unreal Engine 4 as well.
No, this is the first time, I think.
Yeah, because it wasn't even Unreal Engine 4 would not have run on Wii U, I think. Come on now. So what's your grade?
I would go the same way Chris did, C-.
C-.
I'm excited for Fire Emblem, though.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, there's still stuff to like. It's just not enough of it, I think.
Should have said Pokemon.
Just so...
Yeah. They would have killed it just for having that Pokemon on there.
I tell you what, the Treehouse showing Pokemon, they really, really pushed the fucking nerves on that one. It's the first 10 minutes of talking about it. It's like translating guy talking Japanese, walking around in the same circle for 20 minutes and just taking up roundabout. It's like, you're not going to show us what the rest of the game is, are you? You're just going to walk around this tiny, tiny bit.
That's probably because that's all they finished.
Yeah. I just think that it's because they're all there is. It is, but in general. But we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, we'll quickly go back to the two we did last week because we didn't grade them. So and just give a quick score out. So EA, Ben.
B.
What?
Well, it wasn't bad. It was just average. We knew what was going to happen.
Average would no. Yeah, okay. You're great. But I wonder if you were at the same conference as we were at this point. Chris.
D- just because they. The only reason I'm not giving it an F is because they announced Unravel 2 and released it the same day, so that was kind of a nice surprise. But other than that, nope. Okay.
What was announced at EA's?
Exactly.
It wasn't that bad. I don't remember any of it. I give it an E, literally, as you said, because Unravel got announced, and yeah, that was really it for me. It just wasn't much. Oh, and the other indie game. But the rest of it was depressing, and the FIFA stuff just pissed me off because it was just like they're there parading. Oh, look, we got the Champions League license that we in no way did anything in a shady or dodgy to make sure we got away from Konami. And it's like irony of ironies. Yes, Konami got royally fucked over by EA this year on the football game stuff, and it's yes, in more sympathetic hands, it might have been a different story. But yeah, it's aggravating to say the least. Garri.
A D. Only because I am slightly interested in Anthem.
Yeah, Anthem was there. But I'm gonna change my score to a C.
Anthem was there. That intrigues you, so you dropped the score.
I had no interest, but it's me and BioWare. We have a fractured relationship, to say the least. It's like I like 1 out of every 5 games, I think. So this isn't going to be one of them, I imagine. I don't like the Destiny model anyway, so yeah, I hope it's not that. Oh, and the fact that I also give E because they had Respawn, Vince Van Pella turn up and basically do nothing other than tell us what the name of the game was that he was pitching to EA effectively, rather than actually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they had no Pele.
I mean, they had no Pele. No, they did not. Oh, and more shitty sports stuff with Command and Conquer that wasn't a mobile game. That was just terrible. We discussed all this last week though.
I'm still happy I got my guess on Forza right. I was like, it's raining. It's got to be England.
Yeah, well, we're going to Microsoft now, Ben. So, what's your Microsoft grade?
A C plus.
A C plus.
Because they announced so many good, nice PlayStation games.
Garri?
B-.
B minus. Fair. I go a B. Yeah, to be honest. There was good stuff there. It got higher, had most of them actually been exclusives, had they not just bought developers in the vain hope that they could recreate their successful critical darlings, which I think they're going to be a bit disappointed on the sales figures of, if I'm honest. Ninja Fury is probably the best one to buy if you're looking to get someone to make you money, as much as they make good games.
I still find them buying Playgrounds the funniest. It's like, let's buy the company that has only been making games for us anyway.
And it was an announcement. It was an actual announcement. They're exclusive. It was like, and what?
I was saying, thinking,
when you'll make games for us. Yeah, it's like, oh dear. Chris.
Yes, C plus, just for those exact reasons you just named off.
So, I think, winner-wise, 1, 2, 3 is as follows. Third, on averages, this is Microsoft. Second is Sony, and this year's winner of our poll is Bethesda. We've got B's and B pluses all round. Well done. So Bethesda, you are this year's winner. EA, Wooden Spoon. Wooden Spoon is all yours, I'm afraid. Closely followed by Square, by the look of it. Even with that A. So, yeah, that's everything we got. I will just run over Predictions League, but we won't do any new games this week, because I don't think there are any of note. So we'll just catch up with what happened, because we didn't do them last week. Vampire and on for the ones we did. Vampire turned out to be 72. I said 80. Tim said 78. Ben said 83. Chris said 82. And Garri was closest, 3 points out on 75. So he got a point for that. Onrush, 78. Ben, you said 92. I said 86. Tim said 82. Garri said 75. But Chris said 76. So Chris gets on the points board. So everybody has scored points now. So Chris, 6 with 1 point. Alfonso, 5th with 2. Me with 2.5 and 4th. Third is Garri with 3.5. Tim on 5. And Ben still on top with 6.
Way.
Nice.
So, this stop-start thing is helping you out, I think. But yeah. Right. So that is it. We'll do our shout-outs because it's a very long podcast. How long have we gone now, Ben?
2 hours and 10 minutes.
Oof. Yeah, considering we had to do twice as many shows as the last one, so that makes fair sense, even if some of them don't count. So Ben, do your shouts.
Shout to Evolve Mail, aka Girlfriend Twitch.tv Evolve Mail. Shout to Shields I Tank at Twitch.tv Shields I Tank. A shout to Maelstrom Radio, go check them at Twitch.tv/Maelstrom Radio. Shinta was recently at the Final Fantasy Symphony concert, which was pretty cool. Shout out to Klaus Nightbringer, Lunavox, and Sarah at Phoenix Down Radio. Go check them out, Twitch.tv/Phoenix Down Radio. A shout out to everyone that's listening, Alfonso, Talus Marvelous, just because, and a shout out to all the hosts. Thanks.
Yep, some of that I definitely deciphered. I'd agree with. Yeah, thank you all for reading all the wonderful things from E3 and for liking all the tweeting I did in the week. It was great fun, I have to say. You can, of course, follow us on Pod Unchained, myself on at Nesco, at psu.com, at psu.com on the Twitter. So that's from me. Ben is done. Gary's next. So yes, Garri.
To all the listeners, as always, you guys for having me on. Thank you.
Good stuff. Short and sweet. And Chris.
Friends, family, listeners, thanks for the support, you guys, Tim and Alphonse and Klaus, and catch me on Twitter at Evangel, DEVANGIAEL.
What's his name-o? So we'll be back next week with a regular podcast again. I know we keep saying that, but now E3 is done. There won't be much going on for a while, I promise. Nothing. No shock announcements, no tournaments of any distinction, it will be back to normal podcast for at least more than 1 week at this time, I promise. We'll talk about the games and stuff that we've been playing. There's much to discuss, even though not much stuff. I feel like I haven't played anything, but I played everything at the same time. It's just, I look at my library and just go, shit, that's a lot of games. Where do they all come from? But we'll discuss all that next week in great detail, I'm sure. Until then, listen to this. Listen to the Problematic Sticker anime podcast, which we're also recording tonight. Probably be out first, in which case my advertisement is not quite null and void. Partly pointless. Still, listen to it if you haven't already. It's great. And we're back after a short break. So, until then, tatty bye.